Hello YouTube, this is Daka13, and in this tutorial I'm just going to be showing you on how to downgrade your iPhone, iPod Touch, or iPad from iOS 4.3 to iOS 4.2.1. Now, you will need iTunes 10.2 installed on your Mac or PC, and you will also need your 4.2.1 SHSH blobs saved for your device. So if you do not have your 4.2.1 SHSH blobs saved, then there's no point in trying this tutorial because it will not work and you will get an error when trying to restore in iTunes. So once you realize that your computer, or once you found out that your computer has iTunes 10.2 and your device has the 4.2.1 SHSH blob saved, you can move on to the next step, which is going to your internet browser. So as you guys can see, I'm obviously on a Mac, and you want to go to this website right here. I will have a link for it in the description down below. So once you have gone there, you just want to click under iPhone, iPod Touch, iPad, and Apple TV, and you want to find your device for firmware 4.2.1. So as you can see, I'm downgrading my iPod Touch 4th generation, so I'm going to look for iPod Touch 4th generation and then 4.2.1. Say if you had an iPhone 3GS, you would search for iPhone 3GS in 4.2.1. So once you have found your device with the 4.2.1 firmware, you want to click download. And then it will ask you to save the file, and you just want to click save file, and the download should take around 10 to 15 minutes, but I already had the file, so I'm not going to download it again. Once you have downloaded it, I would recommend just putting it on your desktop right here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to edit the hosts file on our computer. So for Windows users, I'm going to do that first because most of you guys are on a PC. All you got to do is you got to go to this directory right here. So it's C, and then Windows, and then System32, and then drivers, and then etc. So just go to that directory. It's right here. I'm highlighting it on the computer now, and remember that I will have it in the description down below. So go to that directory on a Windows computer, and then you should see a file called hosts. So double click the host file to open it up, and I would recommend opening it with Notepad. So you should right click it and then click open with, and then select Notepad. And once you have it open, you want to copy down this right here that I'm highlighting now, 74.208.10.249 space gs.apple.com. So copy that and then paste it at the very bottom of the text document, so with no spaces in between. So the very last thing you see in the hosts file, you want to copy this down right below it. And if you don't get what I'm saying right now, watch me do it on my Mac because it is pretty simple. So for Mac users, it is kind of difficult to save the host file with this in it, so I'm going to be showing you how to do it on a Mac, but it is pretty much the same thing with PC, just with a little bit of extra steps for a Mac. So what you want to do is you want to go to the Finder, and for Windows users it would be My Computer, and you want to go, for Windows users, you want to go to this directory right here, so the C, then the Windows, then System32, then drivers, then etc. But for Mac, I'm just going to click Go, and then Go to Folder, and for Mac you want to go to Private, and then etc, just like that, and click Go. So you may be in a different view on a Mac. You may be in this kind of view, you may be in this kind of view, you may be in this kind of view right here, but but you need to go to this view. I wouldn't not just recommend, but you have to go to this view, and so you should see the folder called etc on a Mac. For Windows users, it does not matter. You don't have to do this. Just open up the etc folder. But on a Mac, right click the etc folder and click get info, and you want to click that lock button in the lower right hand corner, and then you're gonna have to type in your password. And then for privileges at the very bottom, you want to change all of them to read and write. At least that's what I would recommend doing. You can change it after if you're that concerned, but personally no one else uses my computer. Then you just want to click the lock button again and click exit out. So now in the etc folder, so now pretty much the tutorial for this part is the same for both Windows and Mac. So in the etc folder, you should see a file called hosts, a text file for Mac, and I just believe there's only one hosts file on a PC. So double click the host file, and on Windows, like I said, I would recommend right clicking and then running, opening with Notepad. And then so now this is where you want to copy this right here. And remember that I will have this in the description down below. So you want to copy it and then and then just paste it right here. So as you can see, just paste at the very bottom, no spaces between the last and two things, and it's really simple. So I'll just zoom in to show you. So look just like this. And if you have changed the security properties correct on a Mac, when you click File and then Save, it should be able to save simply without any errors. If it does give you an error, retry what I showed you, at least only on a Mac. But on a Windows computer, after you've pasted that at the bottom, you're good to go. Just save it and you're done. So I've already saved it, like I just saved it just then. And once you have done that, you can simply exit out of everything. And so now we're just going to be restoring our device with the 4.2.1 firmware. Okay guys, so once you have downloaded the 4.2.1 firmware file and you have it on your desktop and you have correctly edited your hosts file on your computer, then you can move on to the next step, which is simply restoring your device with iTunes. So what you want to do is you want to open up iTunes, and at this point you want to make sure your device is plugged in and turned on, as you can see right there. So make sure it's plugged in and turned on. So now we're just going to be doing it on the device. So once it is plugged in, and if it's syncing on iTunes, just turn off the syncing. So once it's plugged in, you want to hold down the power button to turn off your device. So click slide to power off. And once it has turned off, now you got to follow the directions doing this. And remember that I will have instructions in the description down below. But all we're basically doing is putting our device into DFU mode. So now you want to hold down the power button for 5 seconds. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, and then press the home button and leave those two buttons down for 10 seconds. So then after 10 seconds you can let go of the power button but leave down the home button. And if you did this correctly, the screen on your iDevice should stay black. If it goes to the recovery logo, retry this process. So once iTunes recognizes it, it should say it's in recovery mode. It should be exactly the same for PC. Should say the same thing. So on a PC, aka a Windows computer, what you're going to do is you want to press the Shift key on your keyboard. So press the Shift button on your keyboard and at the same time click Restore. However, for a Mac it is different. On a Mac you have to press the Option key and then Restore. So if you've done it correct, whether you have a Mac or PC, you should get a window pop up, and now it's going to ask you to select the firmware you want to restore to. So now is when you want to select your 4.2.1 firmware file that you downloaded from the website that I gave you. So you just want to choose that and then click restore. Okay guys, so if you have done this correctly, then your device should be fully restored on firmware 4.2.1. Now if you did get any errors while trying to restore in iTunes, it's most likely because either your SH blobs aren't saved, or you didn't edit the host file correctly, or your iTunes is simply not on version 10.2. So make sure to check all of those three things before reattempting it so you don't obviously waste your time. If you guys would like a full written tutorial on how to do this, I will have one on my website. You can find a link in the description down below. It's tohacker13.net, but in the description I will have a direct link to the tutorial on how to downgrade from firmware 4.3 to 4.2.1. So thanks for watching the video guys. If it helped you in downgrading your device, please don't forget to thumbs up the video by clicking the like button right there. Leave a comment down below and don't forget to subscribe. Also, please follow me on Twitter and subscribe to my second YouTube channel. I will have those two links in the description down below. Once again guys, thanks for watching the video and see you all later.